Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today, we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP. So with that being said, let's just dive in and let's go back to 2017. So this is a tweet from David Schwartz, and we do see it can't be dirt cheap. That doesn't make any sense. XRP costs $1. They'd need a million XRP, which would cost $1 million. If XRP cost $1 million, they'd need one XRP, which would again cost $1 million. Except that higher prices make payments cheaper. Right now, you could buy $1 million house with Bitcoins. When Bitcoin's worth $300, it would move the market too much and be too expensive to be practical. So higher prices make payments cheaper. So listen, I've seen arguments over time about the value of XRP. Honestly, listen, it's useless talking about possibilities and where XRP can go. We know the value of XRP today, we know what it was yesterday, and we know what it was 5 years ago. As we really kind of look at the future around XRP, we know that the future is going to change rapidly, especially as we do really kind of look at the landscape of payments and financial technology being adopted in and the speed at which technology revolutions do happen. I believe that we are very well 5 to 10 years away from the big boom in terms of mass adoption, but it will start gradually. Listen, when I say 5 to 10 years away, the reason why I say that is because that's when everything is fully live. During the time from now to then, we will see complete changes happening around the space. One of the biggest ones is proper regulations that will shake out a lot of individuals, because we will see the garbage disappear and get decimated, while guess what we have left? Utility. This space is going to look very bright within the coming years, and I do think that XRP over the matter of the next couple months and even years ahead is going to look very good from a value proposition point of view and even an ROI point of view as well. Now let's talk about a few things. Let's talk about how XRP increases in value. Let's talk about why I strongly believe that XRP will be valued significantly higher in the coming weeks, months, and years ahead. So first and foremost, I do want to start off with this tweet here, and I included this in a recent video actually talking about XRP. The significance of this tweet is what they are building here. So this is from Anthony Welfare, and like I said, I included this in a recent video. What they are talking about is the traction behind CBDCs, and how the Ripple CBDC team is focusing on real-world use cases for CBDCs and or even stablecoins. What they are looking at is a regulated DLT infrastructure for tokenized securities. In partnership with SuperHow and their Axiology project, a tokenized securities trading and settlement system infrastructure, the infrastructure enables multiple layers of the current capital market infrastructures to coexist on one technology layer. This is a capital market infrastructure. Why is this significant? Well, first off, securities transactions, they're valued in the quadrillions of dollars, and capital markets, well, what's funny about this? Let's go back in time and let's look at this. This was from 2021, I believe, from McKinsey. $118 trillion and counting, taking stock of the world's capital markets. Very large market. And it's also funny? Check this out. So if we go back in time a little bit more, this is from HSBC, DLT in capital markets, game changers, future trends in security services. Oh yeah, what's mentioned under DLT? It seems as though there's only one major player that we are aware of. I mean, there's IBM here, there's HSBC, but under payments, we do see DLT can streamline end-to-end value transfers, reducing cost and operational risk in settlement periods. For example, Ripple's XRP ledger provides real-time cross-border settlements using tokens that represent central bank currencies. Interesting. Now, as we do go back to this, we do see that the infrastructure will also include, ultimately, a ton of efficiencies. We're talking about distributed FMI for tokenized securities, one-layer regulated FMI instead of multi-layer custody, settlement, trading, interconnected platforms. Process efficiency, automation, cost saving, direct retail participation possible, regulated fractionalization of tokenized securities, secondary market for tokenized securities, AMM, issuance on the ledger of fungible token-based regulated securities, integration of regulated settlement coins as well, MiCA stablecoin CBDCs. So this is actually pretty big, right? And imagine the value that will be tied to this. And again, this is all based on the XRP ledger. This is what I mean. Like, focus on what's happening here around the XRP ledger, because there's a lot of adoption and a lot of growth happening around the XRP ledger. And all of this is to cater to the new world in terms of payments, and also the new infrastructure that is being built, below this new financial system. And it's all centered out, like I said, on the XRP ledger. And now they do break this down a little bit more around this. They are actually working with the European Union DLT pilot regime regulation on this infrastructure, which is definitely interesting. And it seems as though this is centered out on a possible CBDC within Europe, possibly even the digital euro, which we know that Ripple is tied to the Digital Euro Association as well. And then also over here, we do see the CBDC system. So this is their solution around CBDCs and stablecoins, which I'm sure that you are all aware of. And the reason why I bring this back up is because this CBDC platform and what's happening around Ripple, especially within the XRP ledger, is something very interesting. What do I think that this is all tied to? Well, first off, I do also want to debunk the idea of a private ledger technology, right? So I've seen a lot of comments on the channel talking about the private XRP ledger technology, and everyone's like, what is the difference between the value of the private XRP token and the public XRP token? And I want you all to realize that there's no private XRP token. There's no different value on XRP either. And if you don't believe me, that's okay. Go back to 2022. JV the Great actually posted this video. This is from Thinking Crypto 1, aka Tony Edward. Listen closely to what David Schwartz says here.
There was another question that came up, and I don't know if this makes sense, but the question is, will the value of XRP be the same in the private ledgers as it is on the public?
Yes. The value proposition of XRP is that it has these liquidity pools. If it doesn't make sense to isolate something, like there's no place where gold is worth twice as much as it is now, because if there was, people would just bring gold there and they would they would buy gold somewhere else and they would sell it there. Unless the only way that you can have the value be very different in two places is if there's a lot of friction. And if there's friction, someone will make a business of removing that friction. So I don't see any realistic scenario where XRP has significantly different value unless something's wrong. So like a good example of a case, there was a time where the value of XRP, they called it the kimchi premium, right? Where the value of XRP in some Asian countries was very high, but that was because there were capital controls, right? That was because things were bad. I think that's a sign that something is not going well. The value proposition of XRP is that you can take it to all of the places, right? If I sell you some gold and you say, hey, this gold can only be used in jewelry, you're like, well, that kind of sucks. I don't want that gold, right? The value proposition of gold is that you have access to the entire value proposition of gold. And so I don't see any scenario in which where it makes sense to snip pieces off, again, unless something is wrong.
Sure.
And again, it does make sense. Like, why? Like, it defeats the whole purpose of XRP as a token to have a private XRP token on the XRP ledger, or this private ledger technology based upon the XRP ledger. Like, just makes zero sense. But the reason why I bring this up and the reason why I debunk that is because, as we do look at XRP, realistically speaking, the thing that drives demand of the token is the utility cases behind it. There is so much use cases being built upon the XRP ledger, and the capital markets one is a great example. And this is just one of many. You have tokenization of real estate. You have tokenization of certain NFT projects. Even the recent partnership with Ducati. There is so much happening here. And what I do really look at around this private ledger technology is also a private settlement ecosystem. The IMF posted this, and I did break this down on Twitter as well as on recent videos where I do talk about this. And this is Trust Bridges and Money Flows, a digital marketplace to improve cross-border payments. Within this, we have this section here where we do see three models arise: a private settlement asset and marketplace, such as Ripple's XRP. The way that I look at this, right, is that XRP with Ripple is specifically designed for, payments, transactions, things like that. And we know that Ripple is in bed close with a lot of major financial institutions, central bankers, you name it. Recently, I know that Anthony Welford talked about, I think it was like 20 central banks that they're in discussions with. That's a very substantial amount of central banks. And of course, when you really kind of combine this with everything happening, I do think that this the private settlement marketplace is all kind of centered around tokenization and tokenized assets. Even if we scroll up a little bit and we look at what they are, really kind of focused on up here, it's more so around these, CBDCs and tokenized assets and currencies and things like that. And I think that that's what we're really kind of seeing growing on Ripple right now, especially with, stable coins, CBDCs. Like, there's going to be so much out there in terms of value tokenized. I mean, we look at real estate, we look at capital markets, we look at equity markets, everything of value will be tokenized, in my opinion. And when we look at that, like, what will be demanded of that? Well, we need a marketplace. We need something that can settle anything of two different values, meaning we need atomic settlement of all of these assets. It's a fragmented system if there's no interoperability, or, if you will, a bridge asset between them to settle those transactions. So this is crucial. And like I said, supply and demand is the easiest way to look at what really kind of drives the value of XRP. When you have, we'll say, a network, right? We'll say a network of institutions and a network of retail sector participants, and you have all of this combined on one ledger, and then you have like a private ledger technology as well. Like, all of this is a recipe for incredible value growth. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. So it's up that you all have a beautiful day or beautiful night, wherever you guys are on this. That's been Nick. Peace out, guys.